Before they go completely potty in here, little Richard awaits.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2017 Lakeside World Championships, and we're about to complete the second round lineup here at the home of World Darts, the Lakeside. We now introduce to the stage a former Scottish Open and England national singles champion. He's the Harbour Master, Dennis Harbour. And World Cup singles champion. He's the reigning two-time Lakeside World Champion. It's Scotty to Hotty. Scott, Waites.
Do you know, I think I've heard that tune before at a darts event, once or twice. Scott Waites, our first look at the defending champion this year. Of course, Dennis Harbour has already played at the Lakeside. He stood off the Kiwi, Craig Caldwell. Pretty straightforward win. This is a much, much tougher test. Watching on for us once again, Paul Nicholson, alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Matt. Well, there are 3 world champions in the field this year, and here is one of them. The last match of the first round, the first view of the defending champion. Scott Waites has had to wait until late Tuesday night to play, the last of the 40 men in the tournament to throw his first dart here at Lakeside. Indeed, 23 have already been knocked out before he has even started. Last year, he hardly put a foot wrong, but the last time he was defending his trophy, he did go out in the first round. Well, having first crack at dethroning him, Dennis Harbour, ranked 24 in the world and a beaten quarter-finalist last year. And Jeff Smith saw him off. Dennis knocked out 2 seeds, Darryl Fitton and Martin Phillips. And he does have the added advantage of having played in the preliminary round here, just to get his eye in that victory against Craig Caldwell. Scott Waites, despite the fact he's world champion, he's only ranked 9th in the world. That's because he hasn't played as many tournaments as the vast majority of other people on the circuit. 20 ranking titles to his name in his career. But can he win this one for the 3rd time? He would join extremely illustrious company if he can get number 3.
Number 3, you're talking about guys like Wolfie, John Law. Then we'll start getting stratospheric. But
thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First set, first leg. Dennis to throw first. Game on.
as Anthony Dundas gets us underway. I think Scott Waites is going under the radar again this year, even as defending champion, because all the pressure seems to have been on Glenn Durrant, the #1 seed, people like Scott Mitchell and Danny Noppert.
60.
Don't forget about Scotty too, Hotty.
Would you agree that of all the players in the field, he is just about the hardest to read in terms of his form?
44.
And the reason I ask you that is to go back 3 years when he won the title in 2013 and he obliterated the field. He dropped only 5 sets out of 30 that year. Came back following year, beaten 3-0 in the first round by Alan Norris.
He's always been a bit of an enigma. I tell you what,
41.
for an enigma, he's got a hell of a CV. I mean, all you got to do is look at his rap sheet. He's got everything on there.
140.
He's got World Cup singles, World Master, Grand Slam of darts champion, 2-time Lakeside champion. Very, very impressive indeed.
Will it be Dennis that gets the first maximum of the night, though?
140.
Let's have a little gander at the equipment of Scott Waites. Very dark as well. Trying to be quite stealth in the board, as you can see. A little bit of colour though.
70.
In contrast, let's have a look at Dennis Harbour's equipment. A little bit shorter and very much older. Trusty old darts, using them to full effect. Look at that.
180.
Beautifully done from the Harbour Master.
Well, Dennis has got himself on a checkout already.
89. Dennis should require 80.
Described by Scott as slow, and then he corrected himself to methodical. It's a very deliberate approach. Another single 20, and it's tops for the first leg. Good start.
Good shot in the first leg. Dennis Harbour. Second leg, Scott to throw first.
Yeah, Dennis Harbour for me is all about old school. Reminds me of John Lowe a lot. Same kind of darts, same kind of approach. I think the word is deliberate.
140.
To describe that checkout, very effective indeed.
How much will it affect Scott? Could it affect Scott? The way that Dennis plays. Dennis is doing nothing wrong, let's stress that.
100.
He's played this way throughout his entire career. Scott, completely different. You'll see here, just rattle them in. So does it affect your natural rhythm when you're playing somebody so much slower than yourself?
I think it depends on how comfortable you are waiting at the back of the stage.
48.
I've said on a few occasions that I was always comfortable with the slower guys because I didn't mind having time to think. But there are guys who just want to get on with it. Infamously, in the World Championship match once, Wesley Newton was playing against Justin Pipe. And he made a gesture as if to say, I want to have a nap right now.
60.
I think he got a bit of a rap on knuckles for that, actually. But yeah, I think Scott's got so much experience now, it shouldn't bother him.
140.
He's a pretty laid-back chap, is Scott. I don't think he'll mind. I guarantee you Dennis Harbour doesn't mind being patient.
140.
Well, the slow, deliberate approach is reaping dividends for Dennis so far, as scoring has been excellent at the start of this game. Scott's not too far behind, will come down
137.
and leave himself a shot at double 18.
Lovely darts from the defending champion. Interesting that he leaves double 18 instead of double top. Maybe something's happened on the practice board and he's been rattling off that double 18 a little too regularly. He thinks, you know what, I'll take that on stage with me.
36.
Let's have a look.
Game shot in the second leg. Scott Waites.
First started a double, fired into the corner.
Game on.
Certain things happen in that practice room, you know, when you're back there and you think, hitting that quite a bit. I think I'll leave it again. Look at that one. Beautifully done. Scotty Hotty, who has a nickname, which is the same as a very interesting wrestler.
60.
Who used to do the worm. Break dancing in the ring. And the whole crowd would go W-O-R-M, and he would do some fancy wrestling moves.
60.
We don't want those on stage. Wants to be using the weaponry to fire in those treble 20s, and I'm sure we'll see quite a few double 18s from Scott the way he started.
Well, that's a telling statistic as well. As you can see, Dennis's average visit almost exactly twice the length of Scott Waites.
140.
And from his last match, his average visit was 9.8 seconds. So, unlike Usain Bolt, he's getting slower.
100.
So his average visit is, in Bolt terms, about 110 metres.
Somewhere between Usain Bolt and Colin Jackson. Talking about slow players.
60.
Any darts fans out there might want to Google a guy called Davis Schneider. He once played Paul Lim in a tournament over in North America.
95.
He used to take about 2 minutes to throw 3 darts. That will send you crazy.
The first 2 legs have gone with the throw. 3 trebles here. Might have given Scott an opening, but as it is, Dennis is still favourite to go 2 on up.
141.
141. 6 darts to get it.
.45.
96 left.
With that visit at 45, you've got to think that Scott Waites is going to smell something, as if to say, you know what, if I can get 2 trebles here, all of a sudden that 96 looks a little bit bigger.
Dennis should acquire 96.
So there is genuine pressure on this 96 for Dennis Harbour. Double 18. Be his biggest check out of the week so far.
Game
No problem.
The third leg. Dennis Harbour.
No worries indeed. Very, very impressive.
Game on.
Everything going with the throw. That double 18 keeping the 2 players' perfect records.
What I like about a 96 checkout, and I think a lot of dart players out there will agree with me, is that the treble 20 is at a very similar height to the double 18. Just look at the split camera that we've got here. Look at the treble 20, look at the double 18. Very similar heights. It's a very small adjustment. That's why that 96 number is very attractive to a lot of players.
Well, this is Dennis's 4th appearance at Lakeside. He returned last year after an absence of a decade. Did once beat James Wade on this stage before going out to Mervyn King on his debut in 2003.
60.
And then he almost prevented Jelle Klassen winning the title before Jelle even got going. I met him in 2006. He led 2-0 in the best of 5 match, ended up getting turned over 3-2. Klassen went on to win it.
100.
Some year that 2006. It was just all about the Dutch that year. They had Van Gogh and Van der Voort, Wild. I feel like I should call him Van Klassen now.
81.
And this year we've got a great all-Dutch clash to come as well. Noppert Venstre is going to take some watching. It'll be a fantastic game. 161 here for Waites, which cannot now be done.
60.
3-1-5 for me. First dart's got to be at the bullseye. But Harbour's old school. He'll go for the 60s. The thought behind that, Jim, is you hit a 25. 2 treble 20s, 145, leaves 170.
96. Scott, you require 101.
You get the bullseye, still got a chance. Treble 19, the Scotty 2 Hotty. He's got time though, nothing wrong with that.
This is Scott's last dart.
$59. Scott, you require 66.
Options here for Scott with 66 left. He's looking at the ball with the first dart. Now 9, double 16.
34. Dennis, you require 160.
Well, it's a big ask, but this is for the set.
$95. Scott, you require 32.
Double 16 then for Scott Waites to tie it up again at 2-2. No problem.
Big shot in the fourth leg. Scott Waites.
Nice standard around the doubles continues.
Throw first.
Now we go to a deciding leg in this first set, but it is Dennis Harbour that has the darts.
$121.
Lovely shot. That double 16 going in. Starting this leg pretty well as well.
99.
Let's have a look at the right arm. Goes through very fast, but look at the right shoulder lifting at the end and the entire body following. It does tell a story. He has had surgery on a shoulder. It's not so much a snatch with that dart, but it's just a lot of effort, a lot of strain on that lead shoulder. He's used it to great effect in a really glittering career so far, and he's far from finished.
60.
Well, it's not just the speed of the visits, but it is the ferociousness with which he throws those darts in. Like Stephen Bunting, really launching them in with ferocity.
Well, with Stephen, it was always a lot of ferocity with a dart that was so light.
140.
Something in the region 15-16 grams, I believe. Scott's dart's a little longer, a little heavier.
140. Dennis, you require 140.
Well, both men have hit 140 the last time up, and Dennis needs 140 here. Big chance of taking the first set against the current champion. Gets a treble here. He's looking at tops when he comes back.
43.
And he got the treble, but the wrong one. Just the wrong side of the wire. Waites can't finish.
Magic number would have been 170 to leave double 16.
60.
Needed a treble though, and you can tell by his expression that he's so disappointed not to put pressure or more pressure on this 97. Only one way to go. 78 left.
Wanted the treble 18. Ended up with the treble 1.
73.
Excellent covering dart.
Score, you require 142.
Double 12 if he comes back, but 142 for Waites to take the first set. Another treble 20, double 11 to snatch the set. Brilliant, absolutely magnificent from Waites. Championship form again from him. A leg that he was never in. 142 finish, destined to be 1-0 down, but he's 1-0 up.
Did we just get a dab from the defending champion? One of those checkouts that is a real Hollywood shot, but the timing makes it even better. Someone who knows how his darts land. 82 left. Usually it's treble 14, bullseye perhaps, but he had room to work with in that treble 20. Then he went to double 11, double that obviously has served him well in the past. I've seen him hit that shot before, you know, at the Grand Slam of darts, and I'm sure it was the year he won it.
Well, that was back in 2010, and it was an extraordinary procession to glory that year. Beat Adrian Lewis, Barney, Steve Beaton, and James Wade. He winning the 2010 Grand Slam.
55.
Seems like we've got two people on stage who like to play a wadey.
Absolutely, both beating him. Good spot.
I'll tell you what, if Wadey wants another game against him, he hasn't got far to travel. He's from round here.
$140.
Dennis not phased by losing that first set, which was a set against the darts. One leg that has gone against the darts so far.
100.
In terms of the scoring between these two players, as you can see, next to nothing in it. Dennis hasn't done anything wrong around the double. Nothing wrong around the treble there either.
$140. Dennis should acquire 96.
He's hit this before in the match. He'll stay there and hope he's got a shot at double 8. I can only tee it up.
56.
So,
Scott, you require
Waites puts more chips in the middle. He had a 161.
Treble 17. Missed it.
82.
Big chance for Dennis.
Dennis should acquire 40.
Form that Waites has been in, might not be too many chances like this. He has to take it, surely.
Game shot in the first leg, Dennis Harbour.
Oh, beautiful looking dart that was.
Second leg, Dennis to throw first.
Look at that, right in the middle.
Game on.
Right at the top. Could have put another 3 in there. And with his darts, it's a difficult thing to do because they're quite stumpy and thick. What about other players who had really thick, heavy darts? Been on the Lakeside stage.
45.
Two-time finalist Dave Whitcomb. He had the Bombers. John Lowe, 3-time champion. Last time he did that was in 1993. And he beat Alan Warren a little. Remember Alan Warren of that year wearing a very naughty outfit with a cowboy tie.
Doesn't bear thinking about.
95.
A bit more streamlined the dart. Scott Waites. What a perfect visit from him to wrestle the darts back in his favour in this leg, which he needs.
His first maximum of the tournament. First of many, you would imagine. Dennis doing everything that could be asked of him so far. Could so easily have won that first set. Got his nose in front in this one.
60.
He's on a finish there. And Scott had 161 not too long ago, where he just missed with the second dart. The treble 17 went just underneath.
.28. Scott, you require 161.
So a try again here. Treble 20. Treble 17. Got it this time. Ball for 161.
136.
Well, he's determined to get it, isn't he? There's been a lot of big finishes in this tournament so far. 167 from Durrant. 164 from Dave Cameron. Richard Veenstra was hitting them. They were going out of fashion earlier this afternoon.
Scott, you require 25.
So to break back straight away. 9. Followed by double 8. Double 4.
Game shot in the second leg. Scott Waites
ties it up in the second set.
Third leg, Scott to throw first. Game on.
A lot of dart players like double 4. Usually because it's at the end. If you split 16s and you split 8s, it usually gets you out of jail.
30.
Is that 180 that you admire so much from the last leg?
Something about it that just spoke to me, because it explains something very
81.
important. Look at the way this dart goes in and nestles with those flights. It goes in between the two, and the bigger the flights are, the more it nestles. Big scorers in this game all use big flights.
100.
Just look at it. It squeezes between the two, and it just brings it all together. The big power scorers in the darts world, and I believe Scott is one of those guys. That's why he uses big
94.
flights as opposed to the kite-shaped flights and the pear-shaped flights that Dennis Harbour has in his darts.
Which begs the question, why don't you make them slightly bigger still, or why does anybody use pear-shaped flights like Dennis is? Is it just that's what he's used to, that's what he's played all his darts with over the years?
Yeah, I think it's all about comfort. With Dennis Harbour, he's obviously got the pear-shaped flights, because with the shorter, stumpier darts, he needs a bit more speed through the air. Hence, the smaller, faster flights. But because Scott Waites has got such a fast arm, he can utilise a bit more drag in the air from the bigger flight and nestle them together. And he's done it very, very effectively in a very good career.
60. $140.
Excellent ton 40. He's looking at 60 when he comes back here. Surveying the scoreboard quickly, Dennis. 101 left.
140.
There's another look at it.
Scott, you require 60.
Oh, beauty.
All the action around the 20s with Scott, as always. There's the single. Didn't get the double he wanted, so it's double 10. No
Game
problem.
shot in the third leg. Scott
Like that.
Waites. Fourth leg, Dennis to throw first. Game on.
I do tend to find great players celebrate at important moments. That was an important hold for Scott Waites in this second set. Guarantee he's thinking, this is the bonus leg. I'm free rolling here.
60.
I've got this double 10. I'm not expected to win this leg because it's Dennis Harbour's throw. If I can nick it, great. The backup plan is to hold in the next leg.
Lucy watching on, cheering Scott on. Not too animated at the moment. A man that tends to keep his emotions in check on the stage by and large, except for those big moments.
I think so. He's always been like that. Quite stoic. But when he releases that energy, it's for good reason. And I wonder, for the partner of Scott Waites, even though he is a two-time Lakeside World Champion, does it get easier? Probably not. Watching is always harder than playing because you've got no control.
'99. $140.
1040s are coming with a regularity for Dennis. Again, their averages are all but identical, but the difference is that Scott is getting many more opportunities to finish games. Dennis still hasn't missed the double.
One left,
absolutely.
95. Scott, you require 136.
That's okay, on the provision that Scott Waites doesn't hit this 136.
Thank you.
Scott did the right thing there. Someone shouting out just as he was approaching the hockey, just composed himself a bit.
$60. Dennis, you require 46.
Frustrated he didn't get a treble, and again an opportunity for Dennis Harbour. Will he continue his 100% record at the double? Tops. Not quite.
6.
Went the wrong side of it.
I'm surprised he didn't hit that.
Scott, you require 76.
For the kind of dart that he's got in his hand, that was a lovely, lovely marker. He's going to stay at 20 for double 18 to go into the break. 2-0 up, and he's got it.
The second set.
Shows the guns as well. Very impressive from Scott Waites. 2-0 up.
That sinking feeling for the Harbour master. He had 2 darts in that leg, but Scott Waites took the double 18 as a 2-0 lead. Not an unassailable one, but plenty of work for Harbour to do here.
I think that was a dab from Scott Waites, just to officially clear that up. I think it was a dab. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it was a dab. What is good is he's 2 sets to 0 up against Dennis Harbour and well on his way to round 2, the defending champ. Back we go to Paul Inge.
He had to drop a set. Dropped only 9 on his way to regaining the title that he claimed in 2013 when he was victorious last year. 2 very close games last year, and 3 very comfortable ones. The close ones against the 9th seed De Vos, who he beat 4-3, and then the number 1 seed Glen Durrant, who he beat 5-4. Victories.
Third set, first leg. Dennis to throw first. Very best of order, please. Game on.
Victories against Hughes and Smith after that in the semi-final and the final were much more routine. As Chris Mason has just said, Tuna really doesn't tell the full story of this one. You'll feel that he should be ahead, but it could easily have been 1-1.
Well,
140.
that's set play for you. Every set tells a story. Just to go on about what you were saying, Jim, about last year's championship.
136.
He's obviously gone through the ringer with the Red Vos game, and even worse with the Durham game. I was on the edge of my seat watching that last year. What a game of darts it was. He's probably very glad that it was a bit easier in the final. I'd say he might have lost some hair, but he hasn't got any left.
140.
It was a dab, wasn't it, after the first set?
I think so. What passed as a dab?
Well, Matt Smith said at the top of the programme there that, was it good or bad? Yeah, dabs aren't bad because dab backwards is bad.
He's just glad to have been in a position
60.
that he had something to dab about. It was a 1-4-2 finish. It was a magnificent turning point in the game, really.
It's a high quality finish, 1-4-2. Doesn't matter how you get it, it's very, very difficult.
140. Then it should acquire 161.
Just chuntering to himself there, Dennis.
He doesn't like it. It's a great effort to try and get that 60. He knew he'd blocked
59.
it, tried to go around it. He got so close, he actually knocked the flight off.
Scott, you require 130.
Treble 20 would leave Bull. 18s now.
44.
That's that as well.
Dennis, you require 102.
It's 102. Went for the ball, would have left double 16. Instead, he's got 57 left now.
$62. Scott, you require 86.
I think he asked the referee there because I don't think he was sure if it was in or out. It was good to check. It's going to be the bullseye for Scott Waites as well. Will he get it? Ooh, it was just as close.
Dennis, you require 40.
You need to ask the referee this time, though. Over for tops. Likes it here. Two more darts in hand. He's going to need the last one if he wants this leg.
30.
It's not meant to be. Maybe this
Scott,
is an opportunity for Scott Waites to go even further in front.
Double 8, 2 darts at it. Now double 4. Well, there is an opening for Waites-Harbour. That would have been a leg for Waites against the darts.
Dennis, you require 10.
Waites, I'm sure, won't pass up another opportunity. Can Dennis prevent him getting one? Yes, he can.
Game shot in the first leg. Waites-Harbour.
Well, his finishing was so good at the start of the match. It's just got off the boil a little bit. I think that double 5 will do him the world of good.
Game on.
It will do him the world of good. That was a very experienced dart, because they always say about double 5 and double 1, one up, one in.
59.
Don't split it. Don't put yourself under pressure. Put the first one high. Give yourself a marker. What did he do with that second dart? Right underneath it. Use the first one. Perfect, experienced stuff from the veteran.
$135. $100.
Anyone for Beask?
I do like a bit of lobster. I think preparing them's a bit brutal. They do taste good.
140.
Like a bisque, Jim.
Love a bisque.
140.
It's a bit of a middle-class suit, isn't it?
Well, I tend not to eat anything I can't spell.
Definitely a cue in there. Get a few points for that on Countdown. And at Scrabble.
$140.
Whitby cheerleaders are in again. I wonder what they'll come as tomorrow.
It's all part of the fun, isn't it?
45.
Quite a few people here all week who
Dennis, you'd acquire
have different
86.
outfits every day.
Excellent first start from Dennis. Double 16 for a 2-0 lead. Double 8s.
78.
Fractions. The ones that he's missing are so close. Can Waites punish him emphatically?
99. Dennis, you'd acquire 8.
To break back in this set, get his nose in front of a big opportunity for 2-1.
Dennis Harbour.
And he takes it. Doesn't know when he's beaten Dennis Harbour.
Dennis to throw first.
No, he doesn't.
Game on.
He's one of those been there, done that players. Crucial break. The right time. And when you're 2-0 down in sets, you're saying to yourself at the back of your mind, you get a lovely view of that double 4. I just want to stamp my authority on a set and make my opponent think.
41.
Well, these are the set averages, and as you can see, Scott got off to a fantastic start. It's just tailed away for him. Dennis
140.
more consistent.
It may have something to do with the fact that Scott has played less tournaments this year. Maybe not as consistent as usual through not as much match
26.
practice. The bright side, let's look at 2 sets to his name. Dennis Harbour hasn't got a set yet.
140.
Well, the opportunity to break back straight away is immense here for Scott Waites. 2-ton 40s, Dennis. Only 67 from his first 6 darts in this leg.
One of the titles that Dennis
60.
Harbour has. National singles. Very highly thought of title. There's some names on that trophy.
100.
If I'm not mistaken, the man on that trophy right now is not here this week. Gary Robson. We'll miss you, Gary. Look forward to seeing you back next year. Big Robbo.
Yeah, Robert beat Dennis in the final
100.
back in May.
Scott, you'd acquire 120.
The highlights of Dennis's season. He was also quarter-finalist at the Welsh Open and the Engeland Masters. Scott with plenty of time in hand here.
59.
I'm sure Gary Robson doesn't want the last thing he did at Lakeside to be falling off one of those crazy hoverboard devices
That probably nobody knew about until now.
Yeah. Someone told me that
100.
he didn't put his hands down because he didn't want to ruin his grip on his darts, so he ended up smashing his face against the table.
Double 16.
30.
Still got so much time in hand in this leg. Scott Waites. This is to break back. He's having to adjust again. Move to his left across the hockey. Just over-adjusted a fraction there, Dennis.
94. Scott, you'd acquire 32.
It's a double 16 to break back.
Game shot in the third leg.
That'll
Scott
do.
Waites.
This set isn't over yet.
Fourth leg, Scott to throw first. Game on.
That's one break he needs. Holds here, and he's got to do that again. Just seems like Dennis went off the boil a bit there. He started this set really, really well.
100.
I think Scott's in the pace. He hasn't been bothered by the slower rhythm. But that is impressive from Scott Waites. 47%. Very near that 50 that everybody craves. 50 or better is world class, and so is that 180 from the Harbour Master.
How do you follow 3 perfect darts at the start of a leg? Well, the treble, not the one prescribed.
$68.
It's a really good save, that last dart. Just keeps Scott honest, because he was just
42.
niggling away to try and get the advantage that he needs. It's been a scrappy leg so far from Scott. Always got the darts back, but it's very intriguing.
Not on a finish.
Tell you what, when you're a dart player standing behind someone,
43.
and they've had 2 shockers of a first dart and obviously the second one, and they pull out a treble 20 twice in a row, you just think, go away, will you? Give me a chance. Give me a chance. But we're talking about world-class players here. Real dogfighters.
100.
Well, this has not been a good leg for Scott Waites, and Dennis has an opportunity to take the set, halve the deficit. Double 4 to get back to 2-1.
Game shot in the third set.
His nerve held.
Dennis Harbour.
Beautiful check out.
Fourth set, first leg. Scott to throw first.
Like we were mentioning earlier with the 96 checkout that he did in the first set. The treble 20 is at the same height as the double 18, beg your pardon.
180.
But that double 4 is pretty close to that height as well. It's a very, very big favourite for the pros. Lovely start to the leg from Scott Waites. And the dream of a 9-darter on the Lakeside stage lives on.
100.
There's a big disadvantage for people like Dennis Harbour, who use one set of darts for an entire generation of their lives. Don't want to lose them. If you do, you're going to start with a brand new set from scratch. Scott Waites doesn't have that problem.
140.
He changes his darts probably every 2, 3, 4 months. If the worst was to happen and he loses a set, he can always go and try a brand new set.
As you can see, it's not something that Dennis has gone in for a while.
81.
The trusted
Scott, you require
tools
81.
of his trade. 81 then for Waites. Treble 18 would leave double 12. A single 20 will leave tops.
41.
when he comes back.
If he gets all three, he's going to leave exactly what Scott Waites has got. I'll take a 140 just in case Scott doesn't polish off that double top.
100.
That was the bare
Scott
minimum.
require 40.
Double 10.
Game shot in the first leg. Scott Waites
Shuts the door again on Dennis Harbour. Just for a moment when the first one missed, might have thought, well, Shanghai on 20s, you never know. You never know. Might get a leg against the darts, wasn't to be. And Waites moves within 2 legs of the second round.
Well, Scott will feel that this is the set to seal this match up, because he's got the throw. If he was to lose this set, then the advantage of throw really disappears, because you've got to win by 2 clear legs. You have to break your opponent in the last set. The only way the advantage returns is if you go 5-all, it's a sudden death leg, and you win a bullseye shootout. You're a decent dart player when you're not happy with a ton. There is such a good thing as a good ton and a bad ton. The good ones when you get the treble 20 with the last dart. The bad ones when you get it with the first.
180!
Not many bad maxima. It's Dennis Harbour's 4th, his 6th of the week, and the 6th of this match. Twice as many as Scott has got, although their averages are all but identical. Waites replies with a ton 40. And he's on a finish. Dennis on 180.
Can, of course, finish 180 in soft-hit darts. You can finish 55. On trebles in that discipline. Not the case in steel tip. Scott Waites 161. Oh, this would be an absolute beauty. Oh, it was close.
137.
Now that 125 of Harbour's is really under pressure.
3 times Waites has had a look at 161, and he hasn't been too far away on any of them with that second dart. That's a good second dart.
85.
Single 11, what he wanted with that third dart.
24.
Leaves himself tops if Waites can't hit double 12, but if he can, he's a leg away. It's a good first dart, nice marker for him. Second just a little bit too far southeast, double 6.
Game shot the second leg.
But just is good enough.
It was dicing with double 13 a little bit there. Bit of adrenaline in that one, I feel, but a line on that was absolutely impeccable. Doesn't matter whether it goes in the top, the bottom, or the middle. This is not a game of strike it lucky.
140.
He knows how important that was, because he's got that lovely guide for double 12. He hasn't used it. He needed a perfect dart to take that leg.
Well, Scott was beaten by Mark McGeaney here in the last 16 of the World Masters last month, and it's just a leg away from setting up a return match with him.
60.
Identical percentages on the checkouts, but a big advantage for Scott Waites now.
Funny old thing about set play, isn't it? Sometimes you can win more legs than your opponent and lose. Doesn't happen very often, but it is possible.
65.
Not too much between the two players in terms of the
97.
Overall averages either.
I'd probably categorise those as steady. I think the standard is gradually getting better as the tournament progresses. Definitely after this afternoon with Noppert and Venstra.
55.
I think we're starting to see some people starting to warm up. And Waites, he's one of those guys who can live with everybody here.
$72.
Number 6 seed. He's certainly one of those players that everybody will want to try and avoid just because of his pedigree. Twice winner, only 3 ex-champions or champions in the field. Wolfie's won it 3 times. Scotty Mitchell's won it once. Waites has won it twice.
60. Scott, you require 132.
He doesn't have to go for the bull here. Straight tunnel leave, double 16. Does so.
100.
Clever, because go the bull route, you're starting to take a few risks. Harbour back on 2-2-1. Do the sensible, professional thing. Set it up. If he hits the 60, he can go for another treble for a double that he likes. This way he comes back, 3 clean, game over.
140. Scott, you require 32.
Last time he stepped on the Lakeside stage as the world champion, he was beaten in the first round.
Game.
Not this time.
And the match. Scott Waites.
He sees off Dennis Harbour. He's beaten him 3-1. And the defence of the title is underway. Scott Waites through to the second round for that tie with the 11th seed Mark McGeaney. And with an average of a shade over 90.5. An effective night's work. One wonderful checkout with a 1-4-2. Survived just that little nervy moment when he went back to 2-1. But he will think that that is a day's work very well done. Waites 3, Harbour 1.